Someone who's quit on their dream, you know the hard reality? The adversity was greater than their love. The adversity was greater than their love for their family. They sold their family out. It's the hard truth. I ain't gonna sell out my family. There ain't any word game, any adversity, any obstacle, anything you're gonna put in front of me that's gonna get me to sell my family off the river. And that's exactly what you're doing when you quit. Now, by the way, you can course correct, you can readjust, you can redirect, you can start over. But when you quit and lay down entirely in your life, you have said you don't love your family enough. You don't love yourself enough. This obstacle's bigger than that. Most of you are afraid to get a big vision because you think you're gonna miss it. And then you're afraid to really pursue it and chase it because you're afraid you'll fail. You'll never do anything for yourself, but you'll do stuff to achieve your vision, and you'll do stuff to make other people happy. What I recommend you do is once you get that vision, is you link your love for other people to that vision and dream. Because as long as you tell yourself, I love these people more than I'm afraid that this dream won't happen. I love these people more than I'm worried about the obstacles and the roadblocks. I love my family. My love is greater than anything that will get in the way. Many, many times I wanted to quit. And I would remind myself, I love my family more than this obstacle. I love my family more than I'm afraid. I love my family more than this adversity. I will love my family longer, and it will endure far past this problem. And once I attached my love to the dream, the people I love to the dream, I became a pretty unstoppable force because there was no cop-out.
Hey, it's Ed, my lad. I just wanted to thank you for being here, and I would ask you to please subscribe to the show. If you just click the subscribe button here, I would really appreciate it. It helps the show grow so we can get even more successful guests on the program to help you. At the same time, if you're subscribed, you're going to get access to the programs before anybody else in the world gets access to them. So if you would, click subscribe right here. Thanks so much.
All right, welcome back to the show, everybody. So grateful that you're here with me today. Today's question was very simple. Ed, how do I change my present right now? By the way, if you have a question you want answered on the show, you can submit it on my Instagram, at EdMylett, EDMYLETT. You submit it there. We get thousands of them, but there's a chance your question will get answered on the show. And so today is all about leadership and vision and dreams, because I've been asked about this topic a lot. And don't discount yourself. If you have a child, if you have a company, a business, if you are a human being, you're a leader in the context that I'm going to cover today, okay? So today's topic is this. I want you to write this down. Here's the title. It takes leaders with vision to help people with dreams. Let me say it to you again. This is big stuff. It takes leaders with vision to help people with dreams. That's not my saying. I heard it somewhere many, many years ago, but I've lived by it. It takes leaders with vision to help people with dreams. What does that mean, Ed? Well, here's what it means. The first thing is it's a reminder that everybody you meet has a dream. Everybody's born with a dream. There's a heart that dreams. As we get older, those dreams can change, they can evolve, they can even die and get buried. But every human being has a dream. That dream could be to be a multi-millionaire, billionaire. That dream could be to lead millions of people. That dream could be to be a mother or a father. That dream could be a particular career. That dream could have a particular body. That dream could be to live with a particular set of emotions. For some of you, your dream's as simple as, my dream is to begin to be happy. I'm tired of living sad or down or worried or angry. But remember this, every human being you meet has a dream. It might be a big one that's long term, and it might be just a short one. Their dream might just be, man, can I get through today with a little bit of peace, with a little bit of bliss? But everybody's got a dream. And I've reminded myself of that when I meet humans, that they have dreams. Every precious person has one. And like I said, there's millions of them, and there's varieties of them. And some people have lots of different dreams. But this is a context and a syntax that you begin to see your brothers and sisters differently. That server at the restaurant that's serving you, that you don't make eye contact with when they ask you how's the food, or what would you like to order, that person's got a dream. That dream might be just that you acknowledge them. That dream might be that they want to be the best server that's ever lived. That dream might be that, you know, they want to have a big YouTube channel someday. That dream might be they want to write a book. That dream might be that they want to meet the love of their life. But that person's got a dream. That's why they were born. You were born to live a dream. You were born to make your dreams come true. And I know this. And so what those people are looking for is a leader. And all a leader means is, I can help you. I see something that you don't see. I see a potential. So as a leader in a company, many of you run companies or businesses. Remember this, it takes leaders with vision to help people with dreams. What does that mean? That means that you need to begin to work on your vision, because everybody you meet's got a dream. If you're a mother, what's the vision for your family? What's your vision for your children? Are you sowing seeds in them of vision and visionary leadership in them? I read a book a long time ago that really changed my life. It's an old book. It's written by a guy named Guy Kawasaki, and it's called Selling the Dream. And what he was really writing about was Apple. He was the guy that kind of marketed the old Macintosh for Apple. The entire book is the context of what Apple was doing to become a great company. And if you really understand and study that company, Steve Jobs was a great dream seller. See, selling the dream is a skill and a talent you build. Listen to me. But most people are oblivious that it's important. Most people think that's only for the Steve Jobs of the world or the Ed Miletts of the world. You want to be a great father? You get great at selling a dream to your children and your family and your spouse. You want to be a great business person, entrepreneur? You get great at selling the dream and having a vision for where you want to go. You want to be a great anything. You want to lead yourself in life. You better have a big time vision. You be able to sell yourself on that dream. Life's about vision. That's why the Bible talks about where there is no vision, the people will perish. They will literally die. You're a dead human without a dream. You're a dead human without a dream. So you should constantly be working on your dream muscle, your vision muscle, and your ability to sell yourself and other people on that vision. I am talking to you today because I had a dream and a vision that I could help millions of people, that I could use an ability I thought I might have to communicate to reach people. Remember this, we constantly move in our life towards what we're most familiar with. We move to the familiar. We gravitate to the familiar. We develop patterns and behaviors that are familiar. That's why when you drive home, usually from wherever you work, you don't even have to consciously think about how you're getting there. You just kind of pull right off the freeway when it happens, don't you? You're not even thinking about it because it's familiar to you. You get in the shower, you don't think, you know what, today I'm gonna soap here first and then shampoo. You got a routine, you just do it unconsciously. Your life, most of it is unconscious because your brain is trying to save energy by creating habits that are repetitive and that are familiar. Well, if you're only familiar with the tasks you have to do, or as a mom or a dad familiar with, I gotta cook them lunch, I gotta get dinner, I gotta pick them up for school, and you just do the monotonous stuff and you never have a family that's loaded with a vision or a dream of where they're going, or for each individual child you have, or for your spouse, that you're selling them a dream and a vision of who they could be and how much you believe in them. Of all the things I'm not very good at, I'm amazing at selling people on themselves. I'll tell people that all the time. Server in a restaurant's a great example. If I say, man, you're awesome. You are awesome. You're amazing. Thank you. Man, you're not even going to be here someday, are you? You want to do something out of here. I could see you out of here doing more. Or if they do want to be there, I'll say, man, I could see you running this place someday. With my kids, since they were little, I was selling them a dream and a vision. I used to say that my Miletts are going to do something awesome. I'm telling you, hey, listen to me. The Miletts are doing something awesome. They still get text messages from me, hey, let's do something great today. We're going to do something freaking great as a family. Woo! Kick some butt today, making a difference. The Miletts are leaders. We got a vision. And I'll sell them that dream over and over again. Think about all the people you admire in your life. Think about them. What's one thing they all have in common? They had a big old dream, a vision, and a dream that they sold either themselves or you. Let's go through a few. And by the way, when I'm saying this, what about you? What vision are you constantly selling yourself on? What vision are you selling your colleagues on? What vision are you selling your spouse or boyfriend or girlfriend on? Your children on? Your parents on? Do you do that? Are you conscious of it? Because that's called being alive. The ability to grab a vision and develop it is a muscle. And to do it repetitively, even when people are rolling their eyes at you going, I heard this before. And here's the kicker. Get good at selling it. That's the second step. Think about who you admire. Let's just go through a few people. Let's say you're a follower of Jesus. Just curious, did he have any dream he sold? Do you have any vision? His vision, his dream, was everlasting life for you. That's about as big as it gets. You bought the dream and the vision if you're a believer. Whatever your faith is. You bought the vision and the dream of this person that is your deity. In my case, I'm a Christian. And then what did he do? He sold the dream. He cast the vision and he sold the dream over and over and over and over and over again. And then he built a team of people that sold it, and it's become the biggest movement in the history of mankind. Maybe you're not religious. How about Martin Luther King? Do you admire him? Wow, that's interesting, because his most famous speech is, "I have a dream." And he sold the dream. He did it with his oratory skills. He did it with his physical labor in the marches and the standing in the difficult times up against adversity. And then he had other people who caught that dream, like the Rosa Parks of the world, who started to carry that dream and that vision. Okay, maybe you're into politics. Who do you like, Trump or Obama? Because you don't like them both. What did Obama have? Hope and change. If you loved Obama, you were all about hope and change. And he embodied that hope and that change.
This
that
guy
you love.
again.
Maybe
Me?
you
I
didn't
know.
like Obama.
Sorry,
Maybe
dude.
you're a
Back-to-back
Trumper.
streams
You love Donald
from
Trump.
last night and tonight. What's up, bro?
Did he have a vision?
Yeah.
Does he have a
October.
vision?
Finance
Make
Wolverine.
America great again. That's the vision. And he sold the
Ed
dream.
Milet.
on it.
Yeah, that's
Now,
hilarious.
it's even more powerful when you embody that dream. So let me give you some steps. You gotta get great at seeing a vision for yourself and other people. Then you gotta sell a big enough dream that the dream of everybody within your stewardship can fit inside the one you're selling. So if you're a business leader, you gotta sell it big. Here's your number one problem if you're running a business right now. You ain't selling it big enough. You gotta see it bigger. Ready for this? Get in the big, man. Sell it bigger. Get in the
what's up,
big.
Stash?
When Apple was just a board company, Jobs was about talking
Get
about
in the
being
big.
most
Get in the big
transformative company of all time.
muscles. What's up, man?
That was crazy. How about me? Some guy that's just plugging away as an entrepreneur 25 years ago, a dream of being worth hundreds of millions of dollars, of influencing millions of people, of using my story to change. You'd have laughed your ass off at me back in those days. Well, people aren't laughing anymore, are they? Because I got a big old vision. I started selling myself the dream. And when you sell it, and then you embody it. So here, that's step one, get a vision. Step two, start selling that dream. Step three, make it repetitive. Being in business or being a mom or being a dad or being a leader is not coming up with new things you say to old people. It's saying old things to new people. Let me say that to you again. Too many of you are trying to create some new thing you're saying to the old team. What you need to be doing is saying the old things to new people. So I've said it over and over and over. So you got to sell it big enough that everybody's dream fits inside of it. So the Milets are going to do something awesome. Max, you can play on the PGA Tour. Bella Boo, you can have your own business and run for president someday. It fits inside the dream that I'm selling. If you're running a company, you got to get the dreams of everybody to fit inside that. The third thing is you got to back it up with massive action. It can't just be words. People got to watch you go, oh, she means it now. You get good at selling that dream, and you do it repetitively. You don't end up suffering from what I call leadership fatigue, where you get tired of hearing from yourself. You get tired of saying it. Most businesses fail because the leader gets tired of selling the dream and acting like it. Most parents fail because they get tired, if they ever sold a dream, they get tired of selling it because the kids don't behave, they don't act like it, and they finally just quit. The more you sell the dream and sell the vision, I'm convinced the problem for most kids is they're being raised by parents who don't sell a big vision and a big dream and tell them how amazing it's going to be. When you're a leader, that's a position. That means you have a viewpoint the people behind you can't see. You have a job as a leader, as a mom, as a dad, as a business leader, as a coach. You say, hey, let me tell you what I see because you can't see it. Let me tell you how it's amazing it's going to be when we get there. How worth it it's going to be to go through the trials and tribulations. How worth it is to go through the ups and downs and put the work in. Let me say it to you again because this is going quick, okay? You got to see something they don't see because of your position as leader. And you got to be able to say, let me tell you what I see. And you tell them over and over and over, and you tell them in different ways until they get it, but you say the same thing. And you tell them how amazing it's going to be when we get there.
Did you see the 69?
Let me tell you what I see. I see you in heaven someday. Let me tell you how amazing heaven's going to be. Let me tell you how amazing
Remember
it is.
your old one?
Right?
Yeah, buddy.
Over and
It's
over
the
and
Air
over.
Max.
You tell them how to get there. Over and over and over again. It's got to be big. It's got to be bold. It's got to capture people's hearts, and they've got to see themselves fitting inside the one you're selling. It can't be a selfish dream unless you're just leading you. Then you got to do the hard one. You got to validate it with your action. They got to see you go,
COVID-69.
wow, she's serious. She's in here 2 hours earlier than she used to be. Oh my gosh, she's got this dream of doing the bodybuilding contest she's doing. Look how disciplined she is with her diet. My gosh, you know she takes off on lunch and works out in addition to her morning workout. They start seeing it. Man, he's talking big stuff for the company right now. He's talking major plans, major vision, unbelievable stuff. You seen how he's working right now? This dude's a maniac. He means it. You validate the dream with your actions. You tell your kid they're going to play high school basketball. How often are you getting out there shooting with them? How often are you getting up early? How many videos are you sending them on shooting stuff? How many articles? What the coach are you trying to get work to get them with? Validate it with your actions. You become a powerhouse. And then it starts to get momentum. This is what happens in life. You got to learn to do this. If I was to tell you one thing about your life I would wish for you, is that you would get a bigger vision for you. If there's one thing I would wish for your company, is that you get a bigger vision for your company. If there's one thing I'd wish for your family,
Nice, man. I'm honored, bro.
Vision.
I'm honored, dude.
Have those things. Then, what I would wish for you is
I don't know what else to do with that stuff, with the points for people.
Getting better at selling yourself and others on that dream. Then I'd wish you'd repeat it almost to the point of people thinking you're crazy. And then what I would wish is that everybody can fit inside the one you're selling. And then what I'd wish is that you'd validate it by taking massive action. You start doing that, your life changes. The reason your life is not changing if you want it to is you don't have a compelling vision that's greater than your fears. And the way you make a dream happen, by the way, you might say, I don't know what my dream and my vision is. Let me tell you what it is. Your dreams, what will move you in your life, always, is either the future you want or other people. You'll never do anything for yourself, but you'll do stuff to achieve your vision, and you'll do stuff to make other people happy. What I
Yeah, but there's
is once you get
he's
to
right.
vision,
He's right about
link
something
your love for
every
other people
time, though.
to that
So
vision and dream. Because as long as you tell yourself, I love these people more than I'm afraid that this dream.
Yo, I
will
changed my
happen.
guitar
I
strings
love
for the
these
first
people more
time
than
in
I'm
10
worried about
years,
the
11
obstacles
years.
and
It's
roadblocks.
way better
I
now.
love
I
my
went with
family.
the softer,
I love my
skinnier
whatever
ones.
it
Yo,
is
what's up, Christian? How are
more
you?
than I'm scared, more than the adversity. My love is greater than anything that will get in the way. Most of you are afraid to get a big vision because you think you're going to miss it. And then you're afraid to really pursue it and chase it because you're afraid you'll fail. Many, many times I wanted to quit. And I would remind myself, I love my family more than this obstacle. I love my family more than I'm afraid.
Have you seen me,
love
yo,
my
you too,
family
man.
more than
Some
this
fat
adversity.
white trash whale and a friend threatened to
I will
beat
love my
me.
family longer
What?
and it will endure.
Are you
far past
serious?
this point.
Why, man?
Once I
What is
attach
going
my
on in
love to the
Philadelphia,
dream,
man?
The people I love to
What
the dream,
is
I
going
became a
on in
pretty
Philadelphia?
unstoppable force because there was no cop-out. And by the way,
What the fuck?
if you know someone who's quit on their dream, you know the hard reality.
And a
adversity was
dirtball
greater
boy.
than their
Wow.
love.
Dude. Just don't.
The
Just
adversity was greater than their
hear
love
me
for
say
their
excuse me
family.
while coming through and
They
oh,
sold
no
their
way.
family out.
No,
It's the
dude, they
hard
just want to
truth.
start a fight. I had
I
that
can sell out
where
my
people
family.
use their children as bait
There ain't any
to
word
start a
game,
fight.
any adversity, any
Yeah.
obstacle,
They're just fucked.
anything you're going to put in front of me is going to get me to sell my family.
They hate
out
their
to
lives, they hate each
That's
other, they
exactly
hate their
what you're doing
children.
when you
Instead
quit.
of fighting each other
Let
and
me ask
fighting
you
their
this. Let's
children,
just
they
get this
fight
straight.
others.
Is there anything bigger than your love for these other people? Is there anything that would come in your way that would be
And
bigger
they
than your
probably have
love?
like a gun or something.
Maybe your love for your Lord, your love for your family.
Yeah,
Anything bigger than that? Good.
that's
I hope
shit,
the answer
dude.
was no. Because if there's nothing bigger than that,
Dude.
you're going to win.
It's like people are so fucked, man.
Unless, of course, you renegotiate that at some
It's not
point,
worth, yeah.
which a lot of people do. You ever seen someone who's been defeated in their dream? Quietly, they might blame someone else. They might have their excuse. But deep in their soul, deep in their intuition, deep inside them, they know. They sold out.
That's bullshit.
They sold out. Here's the great news. I've quit many things before, but I got back up again. It's not too late. You can decide right now, that's it. He's right. I'm going to start attaching my vision and my dreams to my love for these other people. And I'm getting
Sounds
up.
smart to me,
I'm
dude.
gonna be a
Philadelphia.
different
I mean, I'm
force
not
now.
saying everywhere in Philadelphia,
Let me
never
ask you this
been, but
question.
man,
Any of you that have kids, and if you don't
I'm sure
have
people
kids,
seeing
just
the
pick
news
somebody
and
you
shit.
love. Let's
Just
say you were
even gets
sitting in a
people in
meeting
this,
right now.
wherever you are in the suburbs, all
Someone walked
fucking.
up to you and handed you a note and said that person
Fucked
was in
up.
a serious car accident.
It's fucked.
Picture your children if you have children, or your grandchildren. If you don't have children, your mom or your dad, your boyfriend or your girlfriend. You're in a very big meeting room. And you got handed a note. So-and-so's been in an accident and it's serious. You need to come now. What would you do? You'd get right up and run out of that room, wouldn't you? In a minute. Wouldn't you? would you stop and go, well, wait a minute. I don't want to be rude to the speaker. I don't want to get up and bother the other people in the room. What's everyone going to think about me when I get up? Is everyone going to say, wouldn't occur to you at all, that stupid stuff of what other people are going to think? Because you got to get to this person you love, right? Because your love is greater than that moment. And when you got up, you started to run out of the room and someone stopped, you go, hey! Someone stopped, what are you doing? You can't get up in the middle of the meeting. There's no way you can do this. That's rude. Sit your butt back down.
It's fine.
Would you go, oh, okay, I don't want to be rude. Would you do that? Or would you go, get out of my way. My baby, my child, my girlfriend, my mom has been in an accident. Get out of here. And you steamroll. And when you got to the door, they said, hey, you need to get back in there. This door is locked. There's no way out. What would you do? Go, well, I guess that's a sign I'm not supposed to get to my dream. It's God giving me a sign. Too much adversity. Is that what you say? It's a sign? Nah. You know what I bet you do? I bet you'd kick the door down, wouldn't you? You sure would. You'd kick that door down. Bam! No obstacle. When you got out to your car and it didn't start and it wouldn't go, you're like, well, I guess that means I'm not supposed to get there. Man, one thing after the other. Guess I'll just lay down here. Another obstacle, another sign. Just not meant to be. I just don't have what it takes to get to my child. Would you do that? Heck no. You'd go carjack a dadgum car if you had to, wouldn't you? You'd ask it, I need your car, I need your car, I need your car, I need to take me right now. You'd get an Uber, you do whatever you could. You get an Uber, you get a taxi, you'd run and get anything it took. When you got to the hospital, if you got to the door, they go, hey, slow down, there's procedure here, you gotta sign in. Are you family? You gotta be like, hey, I gotta get to my family. No obstacle. Well, hey, we need these, would you say, well, man, before I do it, I need to know the exact words I'm supposed to say. I need to be totally prepared for when I get to the hospital. I need total preparation before I can get to the... Screw preparation. You're never going to be totally prepared for that moment. You don't have to have the perfect words or the perfect moment or the perfect knowledge or understand everything. That's all out the damn window when you want something to get somebody that bad. You'd get to your baby, wouldn't you? You wouldn't need the perfect words. You wouldn't need to know everything. You wouldn't wait to get started for the right timing. None of that crap would matter, would it? Because you're going to get there because you love them so much. That's how your dream has to be. And by the way, that's the truth of how people make their dreams come true. And here's the truth about the people that don't. They don't attach that love, that urgency, that obsession. And so little stupid things start to seem big. What are these people going to think? Oh my gosh, someone rejected me and told me to sit back down. The doors are closed. There's no way to get in that room and make it happen. You'd find a way to get that door knocked down, wouldn't you? There's no door closed. It didn't start. There's a setback. My car. No, wouldn't matter. When you got there, they said, hey, we need this information. We need to hear the right words from you. You wouldn't wait around and go, well, let me sit in the parking lot and prepare for another 3 weeks before I get started so the timing's better and I know everything I need to know when I get in that hospital. No, you know enough. And you'd get going. What you would say is, I'll figure it out when I get in there. Isn't it trivial and isn't it silly when you put it in that context, what we let stop us and why we lay down after a while? Ed, how do I get back up in my life? I'm telling you how. You get back up by getting a new vision, by repeatedly selling yourself this dream, and by attaching your love, like that precious child or loved one who was in an accident. That type of urgency, that type of love, that type of obsession towards chasing it. And now you're up, and when those obstacles do come, they may rattle you, they may stagger you, but they won't stop you. You're unstoppable. It's pretty good. There's 3 types of people in life. There's motivational people. Motivational people are awesome. You see them and you get motivated. What they do is they get you motivated based on your motives. If you do this, you'll get a Lambo. If you do this, you'll get money. If you do this, you'll get a body. If you do this, you'll get a relationship. So you are moved by your motives. Nothing wrong with being motivated or being a motivational person. In fact, I'd like to think I am a motivational person. I am motivated. But that's a low level of movement. It's a low level of chase. It's a low level of juice. But it is a level, and it's more than most people have. So if you're looking for motivation, you can get it. The second level is far more powerful, though. If you can add it, you can stack it. I'm motivated, and you stack to the next level. So you get motivation, you want that, you want the external, you want motives. Then you move to step 2, which is inspirational people or inspired people. Those people are a different type of force. Because inspired people, the root of the word inspire is to be in spirit. So you got motivation going. Now you got inspiration going in your life. Inspirational people, they move mountains. There's an in spirit. It touches your soul. It moves you at an energetic level. That life force, that soul spirit level, that can overcome about anything. Motivational people can get stopped sometimes if they don't get their motive, or they do get what they were motivated by. I've watched a lot of people get what they wanted. They got the car, they got the money, they got some position or title, they got the degree, and then what? Because they were only motivated, meaning they were only after their motive. And once you get it, what's left? Or if you don't get it, that next level is so powerful, which is to be inspirational or to be in spirit. That's to move people with love. What I'm talking about today is to go to the next level, you need to be inspired. And then the third type of person is very rare. Those are aspirational people. Aspirational people are people you aspire to be like. So if you want to get your family motivated or your company motivated, let's take your company. Hey, if we do X or Y, we're paying this bonus. If we do X, Y, or Z, we're taking a company trip. If we do X, Y, or Z, it'll mean a job promotion for you. That's motivating people, and you should do that. The next level, though, is to get them inspired in spirit, which is to say we're going to make a difference in other people's lives. We're going to make history. We're going to create change. We're going to change the planet. We're going to rewrite a wrong. We're going to do something great as a company. We're going to make history. That, or as a family, we're going to take the whole family to a new level. We're going to create generational wealth. This family's going to be joyous and different and amazing. I said earlier, one of the things about Dr. King that was so powerful was not only was he motivational, but he was inspirational. You felt something spiritual. You felt something in your soul. You felt an emotion. But he was even beyond that, wasn't he? The reason he was a transformational figure is because he was aspirational. People aspired to be like him. He didn't just speak. He went to the march. He stood in the line. He stood in the tough place. He took the hits. He lived under threat for so long and still stood by his beliefs and his dream. He was aspirational. If you're a follower of Jesus, he sure heck was motivating. Man, what an inspirational man. What an inspirational figure when he was walking this earth. Unbelievably inspirational. But he was more. He was aspirational. He lived it. He literally died for you and for me. Doesn't get any more aspirational than that. And that's how you create a big movement. That's how you create an amazing family. That's how you do something great. Motivational, inspirational, and aspirational. At least today, start by being motivated. But be working your way towards being inspirational. And take massive action on a regular basis and you will become aspirational. Back it up with massive action. Anyway, that's what I think you do to change your life today. Now, there's a million things I can talk about. I talk about them every week. But in today's case, it takes leaders with vision to help people with dreams. And everybody you meet has a dream. Everybody you meet has a dream in their heart, or they used to. And it is your job to reinvigorate, to turn that light on, to create that fire in other people with a kind word by telling them what you see. And then if they see you living a certain way, they want to be more like you, then you become aspirational. In your family, let me tell you what I see. Let me tell you what I see. I see a vision for our family. I see a vision for you, my son. I see a vision for you, my daughter. I see a vision for you. You're going to do something great with your life, and you repeat it over and over and over again. You tell them about their giftedness and their greatness and what they're good at. And you back it up with the actions you take. That's how you transform that. In your company, it's the same thing. Let me tell you where I see we're going. If we get there, there's this trip, there's this contest, there's this reward, there's this promotion. But beyond that, we're going to make history. We're going to do something great. We're going to change this industry. We're going to do something awesome. People are going to know who we are. We're going to be on the map. We're going to compete. And then they see you act in a certain way, and then you're aspirational, and you validate the dream. All right, everybody. I hope this helped you guys today. It helped me. I'm fired up, man. I'm like sweating and shaking and ready to do something great. If today meant something to you, share it with somebody that means something to you. God bless you guys. Max out your life. Facts tell, but stories sell. When you begin to tell stories about different times in your life, it gives you dimension, and it actually alters their perspective and time of you.
If I had one wish yet, it would be that people could have seen me in the beginning.
What would they see?
They would have seen a person that wasn't a very good communicator. is they said, don't tell personal stories. It'll make people think that you're kind of like a narcissist or an egomaniac. But one day I just told a personal story and everything came alive. When I tell my story, it lives in me. Moral authority comes from the life that you've lived. We teach what we know, but we reproduce who we are. Stories are who we are. You just have to get over yourself. It is not about me. It's about the audience. How can I connect with them? What can I say? How can I help them? Where are they? You know, you have to find them before you can lead them. I got to find myself to know myself. I got to know myself to be myself. I got to be myself to improve myself. I got to improve myself so I can get over myself, so I can give myself to you. Success is about me. Significance is about others. That is fulfillment.
That's a masterclass, all time right there. All time. All right, welcome back to the show, everybody. You know, every once in a while, I like to use my platform to highlight an up-and-comer. You know, like a rookie. Just somebody who needs some elevation in their life. And so today is one of them. I'm just kidding. My guest today is writing his 88th book. He is a legend.
I forgot that, man.
A,
I completely forgot about that. Is that why I say pass away now? I thought I was just saying pass away because of the meme. I was just kind of meming.
A hero of mine. And I aspire to be more like him.
Oh yeah, I did.
I'm so grateful that he's in my life. I'm so grateful that he's going to share this time with us today for the third time on the show. And every time he's on, the downloads go crazy.
That is true.
And he's also one of the greatest communicators.
I remember that.
And he's written a book.
Thank you for noticing. I think we talked about it.
Qualified to write this book.
I think I brought it up.
His new book is called The 16 Undeniable Laws of Communication.
Thanks, man.
Apply them and make the most.
I thought I just hate pass away as it just. I thought I was just copying Goosens for the meme.
Welcome back to the show, brother.
And it's so good to be with you. And when you're talking about my stuff, let me tell you something. I could just flip that and ditto right back to you. My gosh, you talk about great communicators. Every time I hear you, you just take me to a whole new level. I learn from you, and so I love you very much. And I love the impact. I love your heart for people, and I love the impact that you're making around the world. And every time we had you come out and do our Live to Lead conference last year that went all around the world, and I'm telling you, and they're still talking about your talk, and in fact, I had to come up after you were done and follow you, and I really wanted to get up and just say it's over. I mean, you know, there are some times when the benediction is so good you don't need another benediction. Just kind of close it and go home. And you just killed it. You killed it. We're still chasing that ball. We haven't found it, but people tell us it's in one direction, so we're still trying to find it. But
thank you.
I love you, and I love being on your show, and thanks for having me, and let's have some fun with the people.
Yeah, I got to tell you, thank you. That was one of the most nervous times I've ever had speaking because it was you, and you're sitting in the front row, and I wanted to do such a good. I don't know why I'm so emotional today.
Well, well, let me tell you something. You killed it. It just moved me and the people. I mean, they're still talking about the talk, and
Thank you.
so anyway.
Well, you're qualified. Go ahead. What were we going to say?
Whenever we're together, it works. You know, it just works.
It does. But when you're on the stage, you listen. By the way, John's not just a great communicator on the stage. He's incredible, as you can see here, but also one-on-one in his presence. He has this ability to make you feel like the most important person. Or here's what he does. He makes an impact. And that's what he teaches you in this book. And I read the whole book, John. By the way, you just got it to me. And it's like any of your books, like I can read them more than one time, and I can usually read them in one or two settings because they're easy reads. You do something you talk about in the book, we might as well just start there. You have the ability to take really complicated things and make them seem simple.
Yeah.
And you talk about that as actually one of the laws in the book of being able to be a great communicator. Is that something that you do? I'm sure you do it intentionally, but do you do it naturally?
Well, I do it intentionally. Let me say this. I was a good student, but I wasn't a great student. And so a lot of times when I was in college or in a classroom, I would want the professor to break it down and make it much more simple. I would look around the room, I said, am I the only one that's having a hard time here? and not maybe grasping.
Yes,
and
because
learning
you're an
like I need to.
idiot, Jim.
And so
No, I'm
really,
just,
as a
I'm just-
student, I worked on helping. When I would hear a talk, I would say, how could that be reduced so I can apply it to my life?
Yeah.
And so it almost started as a student. And I learned to reduce things and bring them down. And I tell people all the time, I'm a communicator, not an educator. An educator takes something simple and makes it complicated. I mean, that's just who they are. I mean, honestly, if you're in the education world, if you're not confused, they're not pleased. You know what I'm saying? But then a communicator takes something complicated, makes it simple. And so my whole goal is to make things very palatable for people. One of the things I teach in the book is the fact that if you have to keep explaining what you just said, you haven't said it right the first time. I mean, and how many times we have a person explain and explain, I just sit there and think, why didn't you take some time on the front end to simplify this so that everybody can apply it to their life? And there are three, real quickly, there are three kind of, I take the simplistic, I start with simplistic, and simplistic is not good. It's fast and it's easy, but it's not really deep and helpful. And it's a half truth. It's never a whole truth. So if I say things like experience is the best teacher, that's a simplistic statement. But it's not true. If it were true, then as people got older, everybody get better. And I know a whole bunch of people. They're getting older, but they're not getting better. The experience isn't helping them at all. Although experience is not the best teacher, reflection and learning from that experience is the best teacher. So how do I get from experience as the best teacher to reflection and learning from experience as the best teacher? Well, you've got to go from simplistic to complicated or complex. In other words, you've got to wrestle with the statements. And you've got to contextually take them from every angle until you can come to something that is really solid and something that is really true and something that really works. And so just as simplistic is easy and fast, complicated is slow and deep. But once you come through that, and it takes a while to do that, once you come through it on the simple side now, it's fast, but it's deep. In other words, people can grab it real quick, but then they go home and they think about it, Ed, and they just can't get away from it. Like when you wrote the book, when you wrote the book, The Power of One More, that is so simple that you can grasp it immediately, but you can't. You have to spend a lot of time on it to work it out in your life.
What a great point. Yeah, what a great point. Yeah.
And so here's the issue. I think in communication, when I was a young communicator, I saw that I had charisma, and I saw that I could probably get by on stage with having fun with people and enjoying them and making them laugh. And I came to this decision: am I going to wing it, or am I going to work for it? And I was tempted to wing it because I could wing it and I could get by with it. See, here's the challenge: when you're gifted in a certain area, you can wing it and still be successful.
Right.
You could be in that top 20%.
Yes.
But to work for it, that's a whole different game. And in the law of simplicity, you have to work for this. You have to work. Simple is hard work. But if you work for it, you get in the top 2%. And so what I tell people all the time is, the tendency and the temptation is in giftedness is you don't give it all, because you just don't have to give it all. I mean, it comes. But because you don't give it all, you do well, but you don't do very, very well. But if you would just work on that area of giftedness, you get in that top 2%. And you know as well as I do, if you're in the top 2%, whatever it is, you own whatever you want to own. The world is yours. And so simple, I decided at a very young age, in my 20s, I was going to work for it. I'm just going to work for it. And I spent a lot of time. This morning I write every day. This morning I was writing, and I was wanting to make a statement. And I worked on a statement probably for 40 minutes. And I write it, and I said, no, that's not quite right. I gotta work. No, it's doing it. And then finally, about 20 minutes later, I thought, okay, I got it. There it is. There it is. So I get up and I make this statement, and people say, oh my gosh, the guy that just flows out of him. No, it didn't flow out of me. It didn't either. It had to cook and work it inside of me a long time, but I get it to the place where it flows out of me. But it doesn't flow. Good stuff doesn't happen automatically.
No. You know what's interesting? When I tell people that I do that too, that are other speakers, I kind of watch oftentimes their face kind of glaze over, like, you really do that? I say, I do, because I want to be as effective as I can. By the way, I should have started out by saying to everybody that you can go to 16lawsofcommunication.com, and that's with the 16 in it, 16lawsofcommunication.com. Get the book, and I guess there's favorable pricing in there too. You can actually get it for less. So 16lawsofcommunication.com, you go get it. Listen, I can just say this with all conviction in the world. The best books I've read collectively in my life are John's books. And the best speaker that I admire, that I look up to, is John. So when he writes a book on this topic, it is something that you need to have. And for the record, everybody, some of you are listening to going, I'm afraid to speak. I don't know that I should be one. And one of the brilliant things in the book is, and I'll have you talk about this, John, is that a great speaker, and I have found this, I think when I was young, when I would speak, if I'm being honest, part of it was about me. Probably a significant part, meaning I wanted to impress them. I wanted to wow them. You know, I wanted them to think I was great. That did a few things. One, I made less of a connection. But two, it put tremendous pressure on me because it was about me. And a lot of you that are afraid of speaking, that would probably be great at it, it's because you're approaching it already from it being about you. And if you would just shift the impact to the service of others,
that's a good
your
quote.
piece about even trying to do it would change. And you'd be a 10 times better speaker. So that's one of the laws in the book too. So we might as well start there, because I think some people need to come into this tent of speaking, John, to the tent of communication, that think they don't belong in our tent, and they do belong in the tent. Their flawed thinking is they think it's about them, and that creates anxiety and fear, which is sort of ego-driven. So talk about that for a second.
100%, my friend, 100%. It's the law of connecting. And the law of connecting just simply says communicators know that it's all about others. It's all about others. And I can identify exactly. When I started speaking, it was all about me. I mean, I hope they like me. I hope I say it right. Did I say it right? Oh my gosh. And it became like I was a nervous bundle.
Yes.
Because I was man, I hope I did okay. So when people say, John, what's the one thing? I know there's 16 laws, but what's the one thing to be a great communicator? Well, the one thing is you have to get over yourself. You just have to get over yourself. It is not about me. It's about the audience. It's not about me. It's about the small group I'm dealing with. It's not about me. It's about the one person I'm talking, having a one-on-one conversation. It's all about them. And until I can get over myself, because if it's about me, I can't really add value to you if I'm thinking about me. I'm not that good. I don't have the ability to think about me and think about you and be good on both ends. I'm a little limited. Maybe some people can, but I can't. So if it's going to be about you, I've got to be thinking about you, and I've got to be focused on you. And very quickly you'll realize, John really wants to help.
But this is fucking
I mean,
great
it's
shit.
contagious, and it's that connection. So I tell people to get over themselves, and so what we did it when this book released, we did a video, and I told the people that were producing, I said, I want to start the video in the audience. I said, I don't want you to shoot me on stage, and I was in the audience all by myself, sitting in a chair, and they zoomed in me, and I said, this is where great speaking begins, right here. I have to constantly be thinking about the people. And how can I connect with them? What can I say? How can I help them? Where are they? You know, you have to find them before you can lead them. You just don't start leading people. You just don't start speaking. You have to find them. And as soon as you find them, now all of a sudden you have the credit. So, this whole get over myself, let me tell you a fun story. There's a company in Nashville. This guy has a very successful writing company. And he's read my books. In fact, he came to me. I didn't know him. He said, I built my business off your stuff. And he said, you ought to write songs based on your books. Well, I looked up and said, man, I've never done that before.
Dude,
but
these are fucking
maybe
dude.
I'm 70.
This
But
guy,
I
man,
keep
this
growing,
guy's like
I
a
keep
fucking
learning.
master. He's a
I mean,
meme,
why
but he's a
not
real
try this?
fucking. He has a lot of
So
good
I went
quotes.
to Nashville, and he put me in the studio with like the guys.
Aw, thanks.
#1 hits. I mean, big hits. They were.
Well, I love Christian, and I
always
love
say, if
all
you're
my
at the head of the
viewers.
class, you're in the wrong class.
I really do.
I shouldn't even been in the class.
In
on
a
this one. I mean,
platonic-
these guys were pros, and I'm in there throwing it at, and so we took the
You know,
book on the laws of
in a very
communication,
heterosexual
and I
way.
said I would like to use
In
the
a
Get Over
non-sexual
Myself
way.
theme, and so we wrote a song called Get Over Myself. And so if you're a listener, all you gotta do is go wherever you I don't know where you get your music, but wherever you get it, just get over myself. And the chorus says it all. Is that I gotta find myself to know myself. I gotta know myself to be myself. I gotta be myself to improve myself. I gotta improve myself so I can get over myself. So I can give myself to you.
Oh wow, that's very good.
And the song is going crazy. The song's going crazy. I got another one from my book, Make Today Count, called Day by Day. And I got my Sometimes Win, Sometimes You Learn book.
That's a good idea. Make a little song or
But
two.
I'm having a blast writing these songs. And of course, again, I'm the least of the least. And they're so kind they even let me in the studio with them. But I'm throwing this stuff up, and we're having a blast. But I tell you, the moment that you think about the audience, and I can hardly wait to speak. I'm not nervous at all. I can hardly wait to speak because I'm going to go out and I'm going to give them something that is going to help their life. And that is so fulfilling and so enriching to me that it gets me over anything that is about me. And
Yeah.
it's all
Are
about
you, are you getting ready to win a Grammy? This will be. You're going to win a dang Grammy for your music now.
I don't think so. I have no idea, but I know I'm having fun. Again.
I don't know if you all understand this. John's 76 years old, and I think you all go, "Hey, man, Ed, you work hard." They see my social media and my pace, and I am telling you, this is not. I'm not being nice. John is everywhere all the time, crushing it. Crushing it. Yet, like before we went on, he's telling me about golf that he just played. There's a way to have, I think one of the keys to longevity is that you do live a full, rich life, but you do bust your tail the entire time. I've been with John's, but I just got back from Europe. I'm going here. Now I'm in Tennessee. Oh, I got to fly to California. I'm like, my gosh, am I getting outworked by John? And by the way, you can tell his enthusiasm level is through the roof as well. I want to ask you this, though. Did you just say you're not nervous when you speak? Do you not get nerves at all anymore?
Not a bit. No.
Have you had? I think you tell a story though. A time you did. I think you're going to Boston. I think it's going to Boston, maybe.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I study you. So you're going to Boston. As I think the story goes, you were replacing a speaker or something. But there's a great lesson in this story. Do you know the one I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, you talk about Peter Lowe when he had his seminars, and he called me one day, and I was home, and he said that. Oh gosh, the guy that was Superman in the movies.
Chris Reeves.
What's his name?
Reeves.
Christopher
Reeves.
Yeah, Christopher Reeves.
Yes.
Okay. He was sick, and he was the last speaker on the day, and he said, I can't speak today. And
Okay.
so Peter says, he called me in the morning and said, John, can you get up to Boston and fill in? I said, well, yeah. So I jumped on a plane, and I went up to Boston. And I got there just maybe 30 minutes before I was supposed to speak, and so I'm kind of backstage. They're getting me all hooked up.
Mm-hmm.
And then I find out they haven't told the crowd. Hello? They haven't told the crowd. And that Christopher Reeves is sick and isn't going to be here. The crowd, they've been staying all day waiting for Superman to come and show. And I'm backstage saying, you haven't told them yet? What do you mean? What are you doing to me? They're looking for Superman. They're not going to get Superman. They're going to get the Pillsbury Doughboy out there. They're not getting Superman. They're getting Fat Man. What are you doing? I kid you not. They went out right before. Now they're.
No one
all-
wants to wait for that.
Here he
Just
comes.
work it out auto
Superman's
an
about to
episode.
come.
Dudes, my
And then
friends,
we're so
I'm sorry.
Christopher Reeves couldn't come.
I have to apologize.
We have
I
John
have to
Maxwell.
sign off right
Wow.
now. I know. I'm sorry.
300 people get
I
up.
have to end the
and walked out.
stream.
as I'm coming out on stage, they're already leaving. I mean, they're already leaving.
I
And then
know,
when
I'm
they see
sorry,
me, another
guys.
200
I'm sorry, I
people
had
get up
planned
and they
something
go,
earlier, and
it's like
I know, man. I
horrible.
know, dude. I'm really sorry,
I
man.
looked at
I
it, but
really
of course,
am.
all you could do is
I
you just
had
start
something
laughing
planned earlier, and I
say,
thought I
you
could
know,
squeeze it in.
I'm so sorry. You know what I'm saying? You know. Now the good news is once I started speaking, no one else left. But yeah. I mean, hello.
Yeah.
I mean, who's gonna
Pretty much.
who's gonna replace Superman?
I'm sorry,
Did you
guys.
say something when you came out to grab
I
their
really am.
attention or to get them or to connect with them? Did you say something that saved them?
I said, guess what? I'm not Superman.
Yeah.
I'm in trouble, and you're going to have to help me. But if you'll stay with me, I'm going to help you.
This situation
And you know
sucks.
what I did? I got him on my side. Really, what I did is what you do in cases like it's like the international audience when I speak.
Well, I mean, that was
internationally,
50
I
minutes.
ask them questions all the time. I'll say now, I want to tell you a story, but
Okay.
does this happen in your culture?
Anyways, buddy, thanks so much for being here. Sorry about this again.
What happens is if
I
you do
will
that,
maybe
you
stream
engage them,
tonight.
and very quickly they become an ally.
I'll do my best
and
to.
they get on your side, and so
Maybe
they help.
GoldenEye
So
tonight.
when they realized that I wasn't Superman, they said, "Well, Fat Man needs my help. I'm going to hang out with him," and
Maybe
they
a
did, and
weightlifting
so it came out
stream
okay. But obviously,
Sorry, man.
I was set up. I mean, I was set up for. There's no good thing about. I mean, when I saw that on back. Never in my life have I been more tempted to turn around.
What is
Oh my
Kratos
gosh.
doing?
I can't
We're
even
gonna rate him though.
Hey, not only is
I
Superman
have no idea what
sick,
he's doing, but we're
Fat
rating him.
Man just got sick
Oh
too.
my
You know what
God.
I'm saying?
I'm actually crying. I'm actually crying thinking about it. And by the way, you guys,
Sorry,
I know
guys.
that because he's my dear friend, I say this, but I
That's
want you to get
Toad
this book. I just
and
really believe
Baron
that more people
and
could be great
Stash
communicators
and
than
Christian
believe that
and
actually think they can be.
Moonraker.
And so go to 16lawsofcommunication.com and get John's book. The thing that John, I think, is maybe the
Lurkers.
best I've ever seen at, and it's
Thank
one of
you.
the laws. It's law number
Excuse
12
me.
in the book. You have to read the book to get all the laws, everybody. We're going to go through a few of them today. But one of the laws in the book, and by the way, you all are good at this. You just need to work on the skill because there's certain areas of your life you're already great at it. And that is that I think great speakers, in fact, my favorite people to be around at a dinner or a lunch